Hello and welcome. I'm Ellen Saltonstall and I'm going to demonstrate a rubber ball technique from Bodymind Ballwork for the front of the hips and the abdomen. We're going to be using these balls that are about the size of a cantaloupe. You need one on each side. And if you don't have balls exactly this size, you can try with what you have. But they're pretty available in the summertime, and there's a link below that you can use to order some if you'd like. So the balls help to create space in the front of the hips, release the flexor muscles of the hips, also release the abdominal area, which could help with digestive troubles or menstrual troubles. And when we get a little further up in towards the diaphragm, you can feel the effect on your breath. It very much releases the breath. It's also really good for the lower back because the psoas muscle affects both the front and the back of the body. The psoas muscle begins alongside the spine, roughly around your waist, maybe a little higher, and comes down behind all your abdominal organs, crossing the hip joint and attaching to your upper thigh. Many times the psoas gets really tight when we're under stress and when we're sitting a lot. So let's go ahead and try it. You're going to lie face down with the balls underneath the front of your hips. So put it right where the crease comes when you sit down. And the first thing we do is just settle and feel how the balls are affecting the body and the mind, of course. How do they feel? So the pressure is unfamiliar for many people. So just see how you like it. If the ball is too intrusive, you can remove some of the air from the ball with a pump. You can just choose a softer ball. So then when you're ready, begin to move a little bit towards one side, very slowly. And then settle back to center. And move to the other side very slowly. And back to center. So in this technique, we're really trying to use the minimum amount of energy to move and take advantage of gravity. So our body weight is enough pressure in most cases to get the effect of the massage from the balls. So I'm not really pressing down into the balls at all. I'm just relying on the weight of my pelvis to create the pressure. So once again, move to one side and back to center and off to the other side. And when you go to the side, it's really not very far. It's about a couple of inches. And back to center. And now give it a try with your upper body all the way on the floor. You can turn your head to one side and arrange your arms where they're comfortable. And again, move your hips to one side. Back to center. Off to the other side. Back to center. Now we're going to move the balls up a bit into the lower abdomen. You can do that by rolling or just by reaching for the balls and shifting them up a few inches. So you can picture your pelvic bones like a bowl, and you're bringing the balls inside the bowl just near the bones that are prominent on each side of your belly. So you're still in the pelvic area. And now you're working on, again, the psoas muscle, also the abdominal muscles, and the organs. So again, you just slowly move side to side, and you can try it with your body upright like I'm doing, supported on the bent arms, or try it with your upper body resting on the floor. One of the things the ball is doing is creating more circulation inside the tissues, and also giving that sense of spaciousness and enabling the different parts of the interior of your body to slide over each other instead of being stuck together. So often the different tissues that are meant to slide get stuck if they don't move often enough. So the ball is encouraging maybe more movement those parts of the body that the ball is touching have been getting in your normal day. Let's move the balls up a little more now so they're around your waistline. So now you're getting more into the abdominal organs, the intestines. And if it's uncomfortable, you can go back to the hips again. But let's just continue, see if we can work on this area for a short time, moving slowly side to side. Just for 1 or 2 passes across. Going as slowly as you can. And then move the balls up with your hands until they're right underneath your lower ribs. So in this position, it is best to be upright like I'm doing on my forearms, because it's kind of uncomfortable if you go flat with the balls this close to your lungs. So here you're as close as you can get to the diaphragm muscle. So just allow the ball to press in gently as you move slowly to one side, back to center, and over to the other side, and back to center. One more time, over to one side, back to center, over to the other side, and back to center. So those of you who would like to try on your own, you can take one ball out and use a single ball in the abdominal area. It is more intense, but it's worth trying. But now to finish up, let's take the balls back to the hip joints again. And this time just a little bit lower, so they're almost on your thighs. They're still in the hip crease, but almost on your thighs. And go back and forth a couple of times. And you can go back down to the floor with your shoulders and head if you wish. And take a couple of deep breaths. Feel how the movement comes through your ribs and your abdomen, perhaps more freely now, having done the balls on that area. And then just before we stop, notice and just remember that the two sides might not feel the same, and you can just take note of how each side felt. Perhaps you felt more tenderness on one side than the other. And then you can do any other type of movement that occurs to you, like a pelvic tilt, or extending one leg more than the other, out back behind you, so that you're experimenting with different movements of your pelvis over the two balls. And then you can remove the balls and roll over onto your back. And lying on your back, feel that area that you worked on, the front of your hips, your whole abdominal area, even up almost to the rib cage. So notice any sensations in that part of your body, and especially the sensations of breathing. And then when you're ready, you can roll to the side and come up. I have a book that I wrote about this technique, and here's the cover of the book. You can find it on my website for more information about many of the ball techniques that we do. Thanks for joining me.